Welcome, everybody. It's your boy, Mark, an MUFC fan, guys, and you know what it is. Smash the likes, subscribe, get in. Let's discuss. It's been a difficult week. You know what I mean? Last season was the most difficult in the history of Man United. But right now, we probably have top 6 sort of in a kind of consideration that we can possibly secure it in the next couple games with a few wins, just to secure ourselves as the league starts to separate the cream from the crop. And guys, none other than this situation, Amorim being sacked, changes things. Now, for what it's worth, I did not back Amorim, but I'm not happy because this proves that Ineos made a huge mistake. So they are to blame to begin with, and we have to find a way to get rid of them because this was their mistake from conception. They did not back this guy, and as we can say, he may not have gotten good results. He may go down in history as the worst Man United manager, but this is also to blame on Ineos' failure to supply this guy with the players he needed. And of course, they had the time, but they did not do it. And they could have done it in the January window, but they chose not to. And then they sacked him. So now, here we are. And of course, Darren Fletcher, guys. It gets really interesting with Darren Fletcher because he has been coaching. He has been doing his thing. He was part of the coaching staff under Oli. He was there with Ten Hag as well. And he has been coaching our youth teams. Now, it's an easy transition, a short-term transition for Darren Fletcher. He will be given, as much as 2 games, which means he will be the coach of Man United to face Burnley and Manchester City. It's a current situation where Man United are still exploring a mid to long-term interim option before they secure a permanent manager option. Darren Fletcher is a very short-term option. There is a possibility that there can still be another interim. They are also looking at other coaches for the interim role. It's not just him. There's also Kieran McKenna, guys. He's being looked at as well as an interim manager, as well as a permanent option. And the background, a modern coach with strong development reputation, key achievements, known for improving teams, coaching patterns, able to get the best of the players he has. His style, he's a detail manager. He builds structure. Also, he tries to develop the system with the talent of players that he has available. Kieran McKenna, guys, he could line up with Ineos' process and development strategy. And of course, he knows our background staff. He was part of the coaching staff, not only with Oli, not only with Ragnick, but also right before Ten Hag came in. It's interesting because, guys, I think this might be an interesting option. A lot of us are looking for that old school flair, that former player glory, or some big name manager. Where we are right now, guys, I don't know if that's the right decision. What I would say to you all, it's one of those interesting situations. Who should be United's next manager? And as I say this to you guys, big up to all of you coming in. Big up to Fred the Red. I'd love Keane and Rooney to come in as interim. And I know why you say this. I wouldn't mind it as well. They are going to come in and definitely put the spoke onto the players and give them the big one. And of course, we would want that because these players, they really, it's one of those things. Do they show the mentality? Do they have the mentality? Or are they just, giving us some half-rate, performances? At the end of the day, guys, it has to be a symbiosis, in my opinion. The manager and the team must fit together. They must respect each other. They must have an appreciation and confidence in each other, because one is depending on the other to give them game time, and the other is depending on them to give them performances to keep winning records. So it's going to get very interesting. Why United might like Kieran McKenna, guys, there's a long-term upside. He's very good at developing young talent. Could be a project hire that grows with this, how should I say, inexperienced structure, this young structure that's not really what they said they were, or not really doing what they said they would do. Guys, this is where we need to take charge. This is where, as a Man United fan, you need to make your voice be heard. There's a risk, of course. Man United is a big club, massive jump from where he's at. But what I would say to you guys, he certainly was getting some experience where he was at previously. So it may not be such a difficult jump for the guy. So in another word, I would say to you guys, Kieran McKenna, it might be an interesting job. Shout out to Nems in the building. He says, as a true Scouser, Southgate into Man United. Bun you, my brother. But love still. Love still. Is Fletcher a good interim choice, move, long-term project, or quick fix option? Who fits the squad best? And as we go through the list of management options that have previously been nominated by the club, let's talk about it, guys, because we just had Kieran McKenna. Let's talk about this coach, because I think it might get very interesting. There are a lot of options. We've heard about him as a possible replacement for Ten Hag as well. And I'm talking about Marco Silva. He's very experienced, pragmatic, meets possession-based style of football. He also plays a back four and a back three. He is very interesting. He's a consistent tactical organizer. Not only that, but he sets a tempo-based playing style. So the players play at a tempo. Of course, Fulham, they have done well. They have done decent. They're doing okay. They just surprised Man City recently. So, you know, the players definitely come out with that big game energy. And of course, he's a balanced football coach, structured build-up. He could give United stability and reduce the fallout, guys. It might be interesting. He's a floor raiser. He improves consistency. He's a good coach. He has good coaching patterns. And he doesn't come with that overarching necessity for a big budget. And this could be quite interesting and attractive to Ineos, guys. And we have to consider these things, because when you look at it, guys, from my perspective, or the perspective of a fan who knows that, you know, we will say that we want the best. We must have the best. But are we going to get the best, guys? And that's the only question. That is the major talking point. And when I say this to you guys, it's one of those interesting statements that we have to consider. The club has to make a profit. Money matters. Yeah. And a coach that wants the club to spend, well, let's just say it doesn't align with their dividends, whether they want it or not, whether they are lying or not. And we can tell they are lying, especially Sir Jim Ratcliffe. He might just be worse than the Glazers. You know what I mean? Like a Glazers 5.0, 2 times the snake, 1 time the good smile. These kinds of people, guys, you have to be careful for. And with Marco Silva as an option, guys, it could very well be a surprising move for Manchester United. I'm not saying that I want the guy, but I'm saying to you guys, it could get interesting. These are just some of the options. Brother, born you, bro. These are just some of the options that Man United have brought forth that they are considering to take over for the current time, interim and possibly permanent. Guys, let's look at it, because there's other options coming in. Of course, you know, I would say some other interesting options might be Laurent Blanc, and a lot of you might not know who he is, but he's a famous French footballer and a coach. You know, permanent long shot, but an interesting character, experienced. He's managed big clubs. His track record varies by era, a reputation that not only stands as a player, but as a manager respected amongst a wide range of footballing talent, especially in France. He's generally structured, calm, possession-based, and he has an attacking mindset. It's going to be very interesting. United might like his experience. He will have authority. And of course, he might just be able to handle the big egos and calm this dressing room down. It will get very interesting to see if he is one of the main choices. Now, it's a consideration. I would say it might be interesting. However, if United prioritize experience, this is where I see him fitting. You know what I mean? He does fit for modern PL intensity. It might be a risk if he fits that because we don't know. You know what I mean? Might feel like a sideways move rather than an upwards trajectory business. But again, guys, it can get interesting. And of course, a lot of us last season saw this guy. We have different opinions. He's a former legend. We would tend to say he did a decent job in the 2 games he was in charge. But again, guys, as a permanent option, he's a very high risk. He's not really done well as a coach. There are lots of reports coming out of the Netherlands that his club, the players, all voted him out and forced the board to sack him at PSV. So it's one of those things where their complaints was rigidity, his unarching side swiping of promises. He has not been upfront, untruthful with the players and the board at PSV. He's made some moves there that they might think he's kind of like a snake. And guys, I can tell you, while he will bring that strong credibility of a top legend for Man United to the role, and of course, he might know Man United and identity. He probably has a modern coaching style, but it's still very risky. We have seen him fail miserably with Leicester in the championship, guys. And we can't say it's Leicester. But if you can't do a decent job with lesser quality, are you going to really do a better job with better quality? No, you're going to be relying on that quality to get the job done for you. And that's very, very uninteresting, guys. Big up to Sosa in the building. Probably won't happen, but I like the Chelsea coach. Rossoneri is set to become the coach for Chelsea. Sosa, this is happening. I don't know why people don't think so, but what I can tell you is they sent him to say goodbye. It's going to see. First time I see my comment wiped out. Bro, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't wipe out any comment. Big up to you. Let me see if I find that comment somewhere, bro. I didn't see it. I didn't see it, broski. Bun Nems with the Southgate in thing, bro. Yeah, man, chilling, doing well. It's getting interesting. But what I would say to guys, Van Nistelrooy might be a viable option for the interim as well as a permanent managerial role, but we are going to worry about his rigidity. The players complained after he left that he was more rigid than Ten Hag. He was inflexible. But this was the reports that he stated in the media about Ten Hag himself. I don't know, guys. I don't trust this guy. He's a legend. I love him as a legend, but I don't trust the guy. You know what I mean? I do not trust that guy. I can't. And I'm sorry. I big up to you guys, but I can't trust that guy. Another one of my certain favorites for the job, and I would say to you guys, you may not accept why he's my favorite. You might come around and say, who? Andoni Iraola? Well, Bournemouth is not even doing that well. But it's a stylistic and a mentality trait, a cultural vibe I'm looking for. I think that a Spanish coach is going to bring that energy. He's going to come with a vicious mentality. He's going to come and expect these players to perform regardless of how they feel. He's not going to care about certain things, but what he's going to care about is their performances. And he does get a tune out of his squad. He's at Bournemouth, and he has players playing at a certain very, very high level. Fred the Red says, no, not Rude. I'd rather Big Ange. At least he wins trophies in his second season. Shout out to you, my brother. Although there are some reports coming out from the media Yeah, Enzo is gone. Maresca has walked out. He was not sacked by Chelsea. He walked out on Chelsea. He left the job. So yeah, he's already gone. It might be interesting, bro, because like I say to you, there are lots of possible options for the job. You know, Kieran McKenna is also an option. But guys, when I say this to you, don't laugh, because like the reports coming out, Enzo Maresca is also an option. He has spoken to Manchester United, and of course, the Italian coach has a modern possessional play style. He's very interesting. He has strong reputation for coaching patterns. He improves youth. We've seen what he done with that young squad, Chelsea, last season. In his first season in the Premier League, he came in top 4. He went on to win the Conference League. Of course, he also went on to win the Club World Cup, and the Super Cup, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But definitely the Club World Cup. And that was very interesting, guys, because that was his first season. He did it with very little experience. I would say Ruben Amorim inherited a better squad, but this guy done a better job at Chelsea. It's very interesting to see whose opinions it might be, who might be interested in this guy, but I might not be so hard done with him. I might take him. I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying? Enzo Maresca, I think, with what the players we have, will definitely get a better tune out of the squad than Ruben Amorim. We can't say two things are true. Amorim has failed and the owners failed him. And this is where I am at. And other people might say he failed because of the owners, but I think it was both of them, in my honest opinion. I don't know. But let's see. Chelsea lost to PSG. Yeah, I just remembered that because while I was saying it, I remembered an article I read about PSG's coach celebrating. So yeah, my bad. Big up. You know what I'm saying? Fred the Red says, I heard Harry Redknapp has dusted off his tracksuit just in case he gets a call. Broski, Harry Redknapp might not be a bad choice. You know what I mean? Considering all things, he's definitely going to make sure we maintain the position that we are. I mean, maybe if we had gotten him last season, we would not have finished 15th. You know what I'm saying? It gets wild, guys. It gets wild. And I mean, I'm just throwing a little pot shots here and there, but it gets really interesting with this guy. And this guy, I don't mind him. You know what I mean? Michael Carrick. What are your thoughts, guys? Let me know about Michael Carrick, because you know what? He's been part of United's coaching staff. So I'm not going to say that the pressure will get to him. He's a club legend. He knows what it is. He knows what it means to be Manchester United. He knows what is expected. So I think handling the pressure might be a lot easier for this guy. I would actually pick him for my interim job. But of course, he's already at a coaching situation. He understands the club. He has a reputation built on calm, structured, possessional, modern style play. And of course, control, focus, intelligent rotation, United DNA factor could reconnect the fans. Of course, it sounds interesting to me. Cultural fit, tactical clarity, and he could stabilize and modernize without an exorbitant spend. And this, guys, is where he becomes an interesting option for Ineos. There's risks. Big job, media pressure is savage, needs elite staff support around him. We can afford this, guys. You know what I mean? The best fit if Ineos want club identity plus modern playing style. Let's see what happens there. Of course, a lot of people will be looking for this guy. And when I say this guy, I mean that guy. Good evening to Mr. Unai Emery. It will be interesting to see what happens with him, because I know United has been looking at him for a long time. It could get interesting. He's a very much outside shot in this race. Of course, being at Villa, what Villa are doing, we can't say Man United is a big club, but he's having his way with the Villains owners. And now that might be more worth its weight in gold than coming to a club at Manchester United to do whatever Ineos tells you you have to do. It could be interesting. I'd even take the class of 92, says Hayden Pro in the building. He's really upset. He's not trusting the owners or Ineos anymore. He's totally fed up. I'm sure about it. I'll take anyone, including Southgate. I said this last night to someone, guys, in joke, in jest. I regretted it after because, you know, fuck Southgate, guys. Yeah, what do you mean? This guy has done the worst, bro. Burn that guy. You know what I mean? Carrick for F's sake when next Mark Sir Alex. I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It could get interesting there. You know what I mean? I am not saying that Carrick is not a good shot. I think he might just be very interesting. However, you know, I have my favorites. You know what I mean? And when I say I have my favorites, I have to mention this guy. Because, guys, when we talked about the possible change last summer, I said to everyone, maybe we get Xavi as an interim. He was just released from Barcelona. He was agreeing to take the interim position. And I thought, you know, Spanish manager, that Spanish grit, you know he's going to improve the play on the ball. He loves techie players. He gave Barcelona Pedri and Xavi and all these good talents. Even Lamal was nurtured under him and brought through to the first team. So, guys, it's one of those things. I think he might just be a good fit for us as an interim. I think as the long-term interim until the summer, maybe we should really go get this guy. Because I think what he will come with is that winning mentality. He's an ex-Barcelona coach, so you know he has an elite midfield setup, solution, and tactic. And of course, we might say we don't have an elite midfield, but you don't know what he did at Barca. He looked at the midfield they had and he brought in 5 youngsters. They are now the starters, the cream of the crop, some of the best in the world. And they started out making a lot of mistakes. They weren't amazing from their first game. So, guys, it could get interesting. Possessional play, control through the ball work. Of course, it could bring calm authority and a clear focus with a clear identity. It will be interesting. He's had a big name credibility. He's handled a big club before. He can raise the technical standards and in possession gameplay immediately. We know his amazing footballing brain, guys. Xavi, as an interim, is the best choice we can make. I'm telling you now, everyone's going to like other ideas, but this guy, based on detail and what he has achieved, he is the best choice. The risk is that he's not Premier League proven, but he can adapt to the tempo, and he's going to need, you know, if we do sign some players in the summer and keep him, we're going to have to sign players that he would want to have. And I think that's the way to go. If you want to have a manager responsible for wins and losses, you must sign players for that manager, because then they can hold all responsibility for failure in their hands and on their heads. If you give them players that they may not need, they may not want, they have to use, it's not going to be the best option for them. And when you hold them accountable, we are always going to have questions on whether they were backed or not. Shout out to Fred the Red in the building. Breaking news, Cristiano Ronaldo has taken his UEFA Pro badge just in case he gets the call as well. And if the GOAT has a UEFA coaching license, I'd sign him right away. His winning mentality is the most elite on the planet. And I don't know about you guys, but I think he'd be the guy. And yeah, but Ruben Amorim didn't know the Prem as well, Sosa. It can't be worse than him. I assure you, it cannot be worse than him. And what's the difference? Xavi has managed a huge club before. Xavi managed Barcelona. What's more pressure in Spain than Barcelona, guys? Madrid? Possibly. We can say that. Is it true? We don't know. But I can tell you he's going to handle the media well. He's going to get the respect of the squad. We know he's very good. We know what he did in his first season and his third season at Barcelona. So, as an interim, you want someone who can stabilize the ship, keep us in Europe, and go if they have to go. This is why I would choose this guy. He has the least, and when I say the very least, inkling of homegrown or anything, no one is, he's going to earn his way. There's no love from the jump. There's only, we're going to love you if you perform. And this is where we need to be. I don't know about you guys, but this is what I want to see. You know what I mean? Carlo is the Brazil manager, bro. I would love Carlo Ancelotti. I wanted Carlo Ancelotti ever since AC Milan was relegated, yeah, to come to Man United, but we did not sign him. I don't know why. We allowed him to go to Chelsea and then to Milan and then to Real. It's insane. We should get Don Carlo. I would love him. Big up to Joe Blackman in the building. Shout out to you, my brother. Don't forget when you come in to smash the likes. Thank you so much, homie. It's going to be interesting, but we have not spoken to him. I don't know if Carlo has set a break until after the World Cup for talking to any clubs about possible options. Right now, his sole focus is winning the World Cup for Brazil. And I know everyone's favorite has to be this guy. For a permanent manager, for the top choice, I think everybody wants this guy. And now, guys, I won't say I disagree. I certainly think that Oliver Glasner is an excellent manager. I've watched him 2 seasons before he came to England, coaching a team like Eintracht Frankfurt, because my first friend in Germany is an Eintracht Frankfurt ultra fan. My brother, big up to him. Ollie in the building. He's also a Leo, big up. And the guy is very interesting. And he takes me to games and stuff. And I got to know this guy. And I'm telling you all, he is every bit of what you expect him to be. He is that guy. He is who he is. And he does what he says he does. Permanent contender, Austrian coach, known for well-drilled teams, clear, structured play styles, and very much a modern style of play. He's built his reputation for organized pressing, expansive attacking, and of course, he plays a back 3. He can also play a back 4 and a back 5. So it gets very interesting. This guy is a strong system manager, ideal if Ineos really are honest about what they want. Suits a squad built for pace and athleticism. We sort of have that. Sort of. He has clear patterns, aggressive press, and fast counterattacks. Sounds like Man United in a sense. You know what I mean, guys? It might be interesting. He might be a good fit, but he's a very much... We are going to have to sign at least 4 players for this guy. Definitely in the midfield and maybe in the defense. It's going to be interesting. His immediate tactical identity happens quickly, no matter where he goes. That's a fact. Strong in knockout games. It could be interesting to see, but United is already strong in cup games already. I mean, not so much under Amorim, but we are. We were generally one of the best cup teams in history. It's normal. He needs buy-in for the intensity and discipline. If recruitment doesn't match his profile, it will be difficult. And this is where, as a permanent option, I would say he certainly stands at the top. But at the same time, as an interim coming in right now, it could be a bad decision. Again, guys, what are we looking for? Of course, you would take Glasner tomorrow, and it's an S Pro, not a D. Big up to you. You know what I mean? Who's that? Oliver Glasner, bro. He's the coach of Crystal Palace, my brother. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yeah, he's only coaching the World Cup, but, it's Brazil, bro. When you get all that sun, sea, and beautiful views, would you want to leave? I don't know, bro. I mean, it's cold in Europe sometimes. You know what I mean? So big up to him. I mean, this guy could be an interesting option, but Simeone is not a coach. Simeone wants full control and authority over all signings, so he does not suit a structure that well. This is why Simeone has not been mentioned. Now, if they were to go into the direction of a coach like Simeone, then Thomas Tuchel becomes an option. You know what I mean? Those kinds of coaches who want to dictate all the signings, who comes, who goes, what they do, the style they play. It doesn't really work well with the type of structure that Ineos claim they want to be. And this is where it gets really difficult, guys. You know what I mean? You want a manager, not a coach. I want a coach manager. I want someone who's going to come in, manage the squad, and coach them. You know what I mean? And we had that before this guy. But we weren't patient. This guy came in, said he was a coach in his first interview. And in his last, he said he's not. He said he's a manager. Maybe he evolved during his tenure at Man United, but what had not evolved was his quality as a manager and a coach. You know what I mean? And I can tell you guys, like, you might think that I'm only blaming him, but he has to hold a lot of the blame. He depended a lot on the structure signing players for his success. But I would throw this wild card into the mix, guys, because there are lots of reports today that he's having a meeting currently with the heads of Ineos, and it's a strong likelihood that he could be a strong candidate for the job as Xavi's competition for long-term interim, possible permanent solution. And of course, I know lots of you, like me, will like the idea of this to some extent. I wasn't a huge fan when he was a coach. I thought his coaching style was based on vibes. But he did score lots of goals, finished top 4. Maybe he's grown. Maybe the club didn't back him the way they should. Maybe he deserves a second chance. I don't know. But there are reports that he's speaking with the management as we speak currently. There is a possibility that he can be flying into Manchester today or tomorrow based on this conversation. The former United manager, strong relationship with the back room, with the players, with staff, with the owners. He's managed Man United through high pressure situations before. Transition heavy, counter-attacking, strengths, could stabilize mood quickly and simplify gameplay, instant emotional reconnect with the fans, and he will steady the ship. Risks, it could be seen as a backward step as parts of the fan base because, of course, he was there before. He didn't win us a title, and of course, this is why we sacked him. It will be interesting. Joe Blackman is saying maybe getting back as an interim, but not as a permanent option. It might be interesting to see who makes the choice. Ollie at the wheel, tell me how good does it feel, says Fred the Red. Well, Amorim refuses to evolve. And, to be fair, I would say this. Ruben Amorim might be a good coach. Evolution is necessary. Change is ever happening, guys. And you can have your way, but you can't let that cloud the grand scheme of things. And in my honest opinion, I believe Ruben Amorim's way was selfish and a bit too narcissistic because it did not benefit Man United. I mean, if we don't win your way, Man United doesn't win at all. It's not about you. It's about Manchester United winning, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. Well, Mark N did as well, but understand what I'm saying, guys. How could a manager said, we will win when we win my way? No. Man United must win. That must always be number one priority. Even for players. All the players in the world, when they play for a club, the first 2 goals should always be a team goal. Because it's not about you, bitches. You can score your goals and have your name in lights after you score 2 goals and make sure Man United is in the lead. This is where it goes wrong. We shouldn't be telling all these guys, we need all of you to score goals. No. We need all of you to come together and get goals. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Blackman says, for interim, I would look at Carrick and Xavi. I like those 2 options. And guys, any of you in the chat, let me know which 2 managers you would look at for the interim job. Any 2 of your choices from the list we spoke of. It could get interesting. I kind of like Xavi, and I'm not too bothered about Oli as an interim as well. I would take either one of those two options, to be honest, as my first choices. I'll be honest. As interim, I'll take him all day. You know what I mean? I would really like to see what Xavi would do with the squad that we have. I think it might be very good for some of our younger players, as well as some of our players who have not really been confident, like Benjamin Sesko. I think Xavi could get these guys in a winning mind state. I think so. Every day of the week, bro, if you smell what I'm cooking. You know what I mean? But guys, this is just some reports that are coming out right now of the possible managers that United are looking at, the different roles, whether it's a permanent role or it's a temporary role. This is what we are looking at currently. And I can tell you, it's a nice assortment of managers. Having Fletcher take over the next 2 games gives us time to make a proper decision, interview some of these guys, possibly replace him, also giving him an opportunity to test his mettle. And people might be mad, but it's just Burnley, guys. It's just Burnley. I'd be more worried about Man City. If we smash through Burnley under Darren Fletcher, maybe we go on to have a decent performance against Man City. It is what it is. And that has to be the statement, guys. It is what it is. Because the manager and the owners are responsible for where we are currently right now. You're going to hear lots of wild reports coming out in the next 10 days, guys, about the players being fed up with Amorim since the summer. You're going to hear all sorts of reports coming out about, different parts of the hierarchy understood that the players were unhappy playing under Amorim. He also had worries he was not showing any signs of being able to win consistently. I'm just preparing you guys now for what the media is going to throw out there, guys. It's going to get thick and fast, and a lot of shade is going to go onto Amorim, guys. Never forget the structure also failed that guy. They failed together. It was both of them. It wasn't one side. It was both sides failing for different reasons, and because they couldn't work together as a team. It's funny. Our team doesn't show that amazing team chemistry. It's probably because the structure and the manager, they can't even be a team themselves to help each other win. It's wild. Fred says, I'd still take Roy Keane and Rooney as interim managers. I know what Fred is looking for. That, you know what I mean? It might be interesting. I can see it, Fred. I can see what you're cooking there, my brother. I can see. Rickamank says, the best fit is Unai Emery. Rick, why do you think that? This guy, and I can tell you, in his history, he's a very good cup manager, but he's a shit league manager. He's almost not quite and always never the winner. You know what I mean? Maybe it might change because he comes to United. But the biggest problem with Unai Emery is our structure, Rickamank. Our structure is against the type of manager Unai Emery is. So that's where the problem is for Unai Emery being an actual real target. Our structure would have to change the entire alignment to suit Unai Emery. Unai Emery wants to be part of dictating who comes, who goes, and his style of play. Our structure wants a manager to take what they give him and do the best with it. It might be difficult there, guys. It will get difficult there, guys. And I'll also be very honest. He coached Arsenal. Fuck him, to be honest, guys. He coached Arsenal. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Ruben, yeah, he was. And he went down as the worst manager in United history. And one of the worst managers in Premier League history. It's wild. He ruined his career. Just because he liked wearing Mont Blanc. It's wild. McKenna could be very interesting, Rick. I think McKenna comes and he brings that modern style, that Man United know-how, a decent mix of it. He knows the players know him. You know what I mean? He will get a tune out of the academy players. He will get a tune of the players that we have. My only thing would be with another manager who's learning on the job, just like Amorim was. So we're going to have patience with him. Can we have patience with him? I mean, we'll see. I've heard that as well. But I've also heard that Vavel wants Xavi as interim. Because Nagelsmann is not leaving Germany 5 months before the World Cup. I promise you. That and a flying pig you will only see on my buddy's channel. You know what I'm saying, guys? So while it will be interesting to talk about Nagelsmann, never forget, coaching Germany was his dream. He's spoken about it so many times. And the World Cup is 5 months from today. So let's forget that one immediately. It's not happening. 10-0 incoming. I don't understand why these clubs insist on calling managers, coaches. It's so petty. I've never seen a manager as in charge of finances. It's so weird. I don't get it. I understand what you're saying, Man United Planet, but at the same time, you have to consider that, you know, they are coaches who call themselves coaches and not managers. You know, it's slightly two different roles. Some coaches want us to be part of the signing. Some coaches don't want to work with the players that they get from the scouting staff, from recruitment. So it's not a Man United thing, but it's genuinely a thing in the football world. It's not just us, bro. So yeah, that's the weird one there. But Ruben Amorim, he said he was a coach at the beginning in his first interview. He said that. If you go back and look at his first interview at Man United manager, he said, I'm a coach, not a manager. You know, I need time to coach the players. That was his first line. And then in his last interview, he said, I'm a manager, not a coach. So that's on Ruben, bro. I don't think this is void. I think this is void. Glasner had 0 Premier League experience. Unai had 0 Premier League experience. Pep had 0 Premier League experience. Amorim, 0 Premier League experience. Ten Hag, 0 Premier League experience. 90% of the coaches in the Premier League, before they came, they had 0 Premier League experience. I don't think it matters, bro. I think the idea of Premier League experience is just a nice thought, in all fairness. I think even when it comes to players, doesn't mean they're going to be successful. Look at how shit Cunha has been for 20 games. He has had a worse performance than Garnacho in his first 20 games, than Garnacho last season in 20 games. I mean, people might be mad that I said that, but it's the truth. We paid $63 million for a worse Garnacho, an older version of Garnacho. Basically, that's what we did. So, I mean, Premier League experience is overrated. I mean, Haaland came and destroyed the league in his first season. Look at what Etikite is doing. There are lots of players coming to the league and they dust off players who are Premier League proven. I mean, you can, but come and show me what I can prove to you based on stats that Matthias Cunha has been worse than Garnacho has been for the last 2 seasons at Man United. I can show you the stats. It's modern football, guys. I understand Prem proven. There's going to be, you know, people are worried about how a player is going to acclimatize. Might as well let him acclimatize. What's the point in spending $100 million on a Premier League player who's probably going to give a performance like Cunha in the first 20 games that really does not impact the team? He has 4 goals in 20 games. He has the most misplaced passes of any player in attack. He has the most shots taken of any player in Man United. He has the least passes into the attacking third of all our attacking players. Of course, he's lost the ball the most in our whole team. If you check out the stats as well, Sosa Yeah, let's make some sense of it, bro. His ball retention, well, I mean, that particular stat only matters in context because he can have a 70% ratio of ball retention, but he's also the highest rated player in our team for losing the ball and misplaced passes. So what is his ball retention, my brother? I'm trying to find out, bro. The more this is why I keep telling man them, bro. I keep telling man them we need a Spanish manager. And Doni Iraola or Xavi, get me one of the two and let's go. I promise you guys, we get a Spanish manager. It may not be amazing in the first 6 weeks, but after that, it's going to be amazing. I promise you. These guys care about winning. They don't care about how good they look. They don't care about how good they talk. They don't care about how much anyone likes them. All they care about is winning. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Cesc Fabregas is not an option. He has taken himself out of availability. He wants to remain at Como for the next 2 seasons. This is where it's at with Cesc. He would have been a good option. Kun Mbumo has been one of our best players. He hasn't scored or had an assist in, I think it's 13 games because he has 6 goals, right? And 2 assists, yeah. Ahmad, yeah. But Matheus Cunha is one of our worst performers this season. I mean, if you want to tell me about what your eye is telling you and some stats, but if you look at all the stats, he has the most misplaced passes. He had the ball in his possession, the most shots. He only has 4 goals. I mean, if Højlund had 4 goals after playing 90 minutes for 17 games, you guys would rubbish him. This guy is 26, will be 27 in a few months. Højlund was a youth. Garnacho was 20. Are you trying to tell me that 63 million, this is what we get? For 63 million pounds, four goals in 20 games, over 1,000 minutes. Let's be accurate, 1,720 minutes or something like that he played this season. Yeah. Come on, Sosa. Let's stop trying to talk about this guy like he's actually doing something at Man United. He has a worse season than Bruno. Bruno is actually our best player based on statistics in the league. In our team this season, there's no one has been better than Bruno. No one. Bro, we're not talking about Sesko. I didn't mention Sesko. He's not performing right now. Yeah, but he's not Premier League proven. And he wasn't given all the starting minutes that Cunha was given over everyone else. He hasn't taken the most shots in Man United, and he doesn't take the most shots every single game. Well, you might say that, but then how could you say that Cunha is a good player, bro? He's been fucking trash. He's missed more shots than any player in Man United combined. Google it, bro. You want to talk about stats? Cunha has taken over 80 shots this season. And he's only has 4 goals now. If that's not, bro, I mean, you wonder how Dorgu gets in the team, he can't cross a ball. Well, I mean, Cunha, he can't score. But he starts every game, plays every minute. And guys tell me he's amazing. Because guess what? Sometimes he runs with the ball. Bro, that's basic. That's required. It's required, my brother. You know what I mean? It's required. Forget Sesko. Don't compare Cunha to Sesko. You have to compare Cunha to number 10. Bruno is having a 10 times better season playing in the 8. He's creating more. He has more goals, more assists than our number 10. Who's wearing the number 10? You cannot script that shit. Anyway, this is not about these players, bro. This is about getting an actual manager to come and improve Man United. And to be fair, guys, we can argue about some of these players' performances, but it will be left to be seen when they deliver. Yeah. When a guy has 15 assists, 10 goals in 20 games or 30 games. Talk to me that he's one of our best players this season, bro. Not when he has 4 goals, 0 assists, or 1 assist, and he's taken the most shots in the team if you add 4 of our attackers together. I mean to say, bro. Cunha has the second most shots on target. Brother, he has the most shots off target, even if you add up 10 players together, bro. In the first, bro, anyway, I'm not going to argue about Cunha anymore, bro, because if you think he's a good player, cool, Sosa, big up to you, bro. But I can tell you after watching him for a decade, he has not improved and he's doing exactly what I expect him to do. Not much. I mean, Ryan Cherky, in less minutes, less games, has more assists, more goals, and better performance ratings than Matthias Cunha. He would have cost us 28 mil in comparison. But yeah. I mean, he has the second most shots on target, but Brian and Mbeumo have more goals. Bruno has more goals than him. Bro, how does even stat even possible, bro? I'm trying to understand this fake stat you're trying to give me here, Sosa. And Mbeumo has more goals than Cunha. Bruno has more goals than Cunha. How? Cunha only have 2 more goals than Sesko. How? Cunha has 1 more goal than Amar, I think. I think Amar have 3 goals this season. 1 more goal. How? How, bro? How? Tell me. Come on, tell me now, bro. How? Where these fake stats just come from, bro? These are the fake stats I don't understand. The brother have 4 goals. He don't have 10. Bruno has 8. Another guy has 6. Another guy has 5. How does he have the second most shots on target, bro? Bro, you cannot allow... Bro, listen, you want to compare a Premier League proven shitong with a brother who never played in the Prem, who, when he started on goal scoring form, back-to-back games, the manager bench him for this same shitong to start him up front. To start Cunha up front, bro. He benched this guy who was on a 2-game goal scoring run to start Cunha, who didn't score in the fucking game. Yeah? He did the same thing Arnie Slot did to Etekite for Isak. So basically, the manager sabotaged him. He was sabotaging Joshua Zirkzee all season. Because let me be real, bro. Joshua Zirkzee metrics better than Cunha metrics in the same position, bro. Like, I don't understand your logic. You probably just love the player, bro, but he is shit. Look at this. 7.3% shots to goal ratio, 54 shots to 4 goals. Brother, if you ain't shit, you don't need to spill it, bro. Look at that shit. That is garbage metrics there. This is one of the best players in Man United this season, Sosa. But this is Cunha in a nutshell. And I told everyone this is what he was going to deliver here. You could look good at Wolves, but it's just fucking Wolves, bro. Come on. I'm not ignoring Benjamin Sesko. He is 21 or 22. Why? He's in his first season in the Premier League. He could afford to make mistakes and not score as much goals because, listen, he's not coming with the reputation of Haaland. Haaland was playing in the Bundesliga, scoring 18, 19, 20 goals for back-to-back seasons. This brother just scored 17 goals. You see, before he had 12. He's coming here. I don't know. Bro, Etekite is... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, bro. Did you not see Etekite after his 90 million move to PSG, bro? He didn't score a goal for 2 seasons. And he had enough minutes. He was playing with Messi and them and he couldn't score. Bro, Etekite spent the 2 seasons at Frankfurt working on his mistakes. And he's ready now. Yeah. You need to give players who are young time. But you want to give a player who's 27 years old time over a player who's 21. So make it make sense to me, bro. We are brethren. Talk to me. Talk to me. Why would you give a player who's 27 years old, who played for 10 years and only once in his career ever had more than 15 goals? 10 seasons, bro. One time out of 10, he had 15 goals. 10. Played for Atletico Madrid, Sevilla, all these good things. Leipzig, all these things. Never had more than 10. How could he be great? But you watching a youth man struggling in a new league, mostly because of the manager, also because he has to play with Cunha, who doesn't pass the ball, and a number 10, who is at the bottom of our team metrics for balls into the attacking third. I don't understand. I mean, he want me to compare Fred. You know, Fred, when I talk to these guys, they make all sorts of excuses for their favorite players. But they don't make excuses for every player. You know what I'm saying? So telling me the system holding back Cunha. Brother, Cunha has been given a free role in our system to do shit and whatever shit, how much shit for 90 minutes plus extra time, week in, week out. But the system holding him back. Okay. Okay. And I argue with you guys. Had our manager not bench Sesko for Matthias Cunha, yeah, after he went back-to-back games scoring goals, we may have been having a different discussion about Benjamin Sesko today. Bro, my views on Ahmad last season, he was not the best player. He's still not the best player this season, yeah. But what I could tell you about Ahmad this season from last season is he has improved by doing exactly what I told you he needed to do to improve his game. I told you Ahmad needed to open up his game by passing the ball more, looking up when he passes, not just kicking the ball into space. Because if you look at Ahmad last season, 9 out of 10 times his passes went on opposition player because he was not looking where he passed the ball. That has changed this season. So has my opinion on him. If you're listening, you would know. I said to everyone, Ahmad is evolving. And this is what we want. Ahmad is what we want. Ahmad improvement is what we wanted from him. But make no mistake, he was never the best player in Man United. Never, not one season. I mean, Garnacho had more goals and assists than him. And Garnacho's goals and assists won us more games than he won us. So how could he be better? Bruno had almost 40 GA last season. How is Bruno not our best player last season? It's insane, bro. It's insane. Like, I don't know if people just want to exaggerate some of these players' performances, but Mbeumo in the last 10 games has been fucking shit. Look at him playing for Cameroon in the AFCON. He is fucking shit playing for Cameroon. Cameroon looks fucking shit in the AFCON. I watched it last night. They are lucky to fucking beat South Africa. Lucky. And Mbeumo, you didn't see him until the 75th minute. He was out of the game for 75 minutes. If anyone's suffering from our system, is Mbeumo, because he's not a 10, he's a winger. And I told everyone this. My opinion is never going to change on Cunha. It's been the same way for 10 years. He's never changed it because he's always been mediocre. He's always flopped. And anyone could look good at Wolves if they always have the ball. I mean, bro, don't talk about Bruno now, bro, because Bruno is garbage. To these guys, Bruno is our problem. They cannot wait for Bruno to be sold, to have this guy who doesn't create anything. He's one of the least creative players in the Premier League. Create for Man United, and then they will cry when we don't score goals. Bro, I can't lie, bro. I can't lie. And Mbeumo has 5 goals playing as are number 8. 10%. Wow. Bruh, I can't even argue. But anyway, guys, it will be interesting to see what this faithful structure decides. Of course, we are not expecting a miracle. We know they are failures. We know they have consistently failed at all the football clubs that they managed previously. And I'm not saying that Barada has failed, or I'm not saying that Vavel has failed. But the leadership that leads them fails at Nice for the last 7 years. He's failing at Lausanne, and practically has failed at almost every single sporting venture he's ever invested in. So it's going to be long for us, guys. We need a manager who's going to come in and do it despite the backing of these bastards. And that's my word. Big up to each and every one of you watching. I love you all. You're my favorite people. Happy New Year to you all. I will see you again later. AFCON Live. You know what it is at 4 p.m. UK. We're watching AFCON. Big up to you guys. Have a wonderful day. It's been your boy, Mark N. And of course, don't forget to smash the like button. Amorim has been sacked. Thank the Lord we got rid of the saboteur. And I only say that because he saw 7 managers lied to, and he thought himself to be special. Well, I mean, if you see a consistent track record, what do you think will happen differently with you? I don't know. But for me, I'm a normal guy. If I see someone screw over 8 people before me, I will expect to be screwed over, and I'd have a plan. Otherwise, that's just me, guys. But I'm from the third world, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, so we don't always have all the facilitations and every single bit of infrastructure we need for everything, including in our daily jobs. You know what I mean? So sometimes you have to make a workaround. You have to find an alternate solution. Ingenuity. This guy's getting paid millions and has none. It's disappointing to watch, guys. So, I don't know, bro. At least you're in the World Cup. You know what I mean? I'm not even there. I'm still crying tears about that shit. Big up to you guys. Have a great one.